How's it going, guys? Matt here from Tide55. I hope you are all doing well. Welcome back today to the Tide YouTube channel, I suppose. We're already halfway through January now, and honestly, the time is going so fast. I said to Tommy this morning, you know, how is it already Thursday? You know, time is gone ridiculously fast, and it's now 3 p.m. Well, it's 3:21 on Thursday, and this week has just gone like that. But what's been going on this week? What's been going on in terms of the work schedule, and how busy have we been? Well, to be honest with you, it's been a busy one this week. Last week, you know, in the video, we said how it's been a busy first few days in the first full week of the new year, how it was a busy few days. And, well, I say busy few days, busy Monday to Friday. It was busy, that's for sure. This week has been the exact same, to be honest with you. And you can probably see behind me that we've actually got a new light box, which is coming really handy for getting really professional product photos, which we've had to do for one of our clients. I'm going to talk about that more in a moment, but that's actually where I've put a lot of my time this week, which has been editing quite a few videos. And to be honest, from a personal standpoint, I've actually had to try and make a few different styles of content this week, to be fair, which I've really enjoyed doing that. Now, something that's really stood out this week is the conversations myself and Tommy have actually had about video. Now, something that kind of made that really stand out was we were having a conversation a day or two ago, and Tommy was actually showing me videos of himself from back in 2012, right? That's a long time ago. That's what, like 9 years ago now. And Tommy was showing me these videos in a business perspective, and, you know, some of the things he was saying, you know, 9 years ago, 3 years ago, they all relate to how everything is now. You know, you could even say he predicted the future. It's the proven evidence of Tommy having an understanding of how all of this works, you know, especially video. That's going to be the main talking point when we sit down with Tommy later this week and we have a conversation about video. You know, that's going to be the main talking point. And, you know, why is video something that's so powerful for your business? And, you know, what can having a promotional video for your business do? What can having a promotional advert for one of your leading products do? You know, what are the benefits of that? Have you considered doing it? How can you do that in 2021? All those questions will be answered later in today's video. But before we get any further, please go down there, drop a like on this video, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you are new. That would be greatly appreciated. So we've got Tommy for 20 minutes. You know, I've spoken about how busy this week's been. From your perspective and from your standpoint, how's things been this week for you?
This week feels like Monday afternoon. Feels like it should be Monday afternoon. I was saying
how quick it's gone. I said to you earlier today.
It's crazy.
You know, just how fast time's gone right now.
Thursday, nearly the end of the week already. So it's been busy, and it's been not just busy with Tide stuff. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things going on. Some of which we can talk about now, some of which we can't. Lots of changes going on. But in terms of our Tide stuff, it's been pretty exciting, you know.
Yeah.
Got some cool stuff happening.
Of course, a lot of stuff for one of the clients, Mad Yank.
Yeah.
What's been going on your side? I've done a lot of the video editing side and a lot of content creation side.
Yeah.
I know you've been up here doing a lot of stuff. What's been going on there?
Really, because they're such a unique brand in their personality that we've got to spend the first couple of weeks just really getting to know their style and how to represent them on social media in a way that they're proud of. And I guess it's important to be able to always understand that every single one of our clients, we're dealing with their baby, you know, it's their thing, it's their hard worked business, you know, worked hard for to get to where it's at. And for us to be able to help them amplify that, you have to be able to show that level of understanding and be a bit sort of open to feedback, very open to feedback. You know, we've had to rewrite things and stuff, but that's okay, because we'd rather spend that time getting it right so that we can learn from that, and then each week it should become easier.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've been talking to them. I've spoken on the phone to them for, you know, a long time, a number of times over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Getting it right, and Kendall's been working really hard on making sure that we're getting everything over to them with plenty of time to spare. But I'm really excited about this client because they're a great brand.
Yeah.
You know, you can have a lot of fun with it. B, they're a consumer product. And, you know, a month or two ago, Kendall said to me, you know, what would be your ideal client? And I said, I'd love to have a go at consumer product.
Yeah.
And we're here with beers, you know.
I think it's also quite important as well, you know, we talk about, you know, what it is we're doing. And I mentioned just a moment ago that I've had to try and, on a personal level, adapt this week with a few different styles of content. For example, the first advert for Mad Yank. That's something that I've not done to that extent before. creating that content, there's going to be a result.
Mm-hmm.
That's either the client's going to be really happy and they like it, or, you know, they turn around and they want the whole thing redone.
Yeah.
The response from Mad Yank was unique in my opinion.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that.
They loved it, and there were parts of it that they really loved because it reminded them of times of old, and there were lots of little coincidences of the way the music sounded and the way the bottle moved, and, you know, 1960s bubbles and stuff like that, which, you know, we got the formula right. You know, you worked really hard on that video, and we got to where we needed it to be for that. Of course, now our job is to make sure that we always hit that level of quality. And it's never going to have the same, like each video that we do for them is never going to have the same impact or response, and we shouldn't crave it either. Yeah. It's very easy when you're in this, because we care so much about our clients, we get emotionally invested in their success, that we shouldn't be sort of craving approval or pats on the back. You know, we're doing a job they're paying us for, and that's like the bottom line. So as long as they give it the thumbs up and it gets posted and their community responds positively to it, that's really all that matters. But of course, it's nice to hear that we absolutely knocked it out of the park with that, you know.
It was crazy when, you know, I came in, I think the next morning after, obviously we spoke on WhatsApp briefly that night when they'd received it, and then once we had that conversation downstairs and, you know, we're talking about all these different things that were in this video, kind of from like a creating point of view, that gives you sort of that, okay, so the time and the hours you've put into that, you know, as I've said to you before, there's ups and downs of it.
Yeah.
You know, we've had a couple of downs along the way.
Yeah.
But then you bounce back with that positive. So everything's all staying good. Everything's
It's important to recognise that what you said there about the downs, because we're right in the middle when we're creating that Mad Yank video.
Yeah.
We're right in the middle of losing a massive client, which is no doubt the right thing for everyone, which is why it's happened in a smooth way. We tried our best with it. It didn't quite work the way that we all wanted it to. And so we recognised early enough to be able to stop and move everyone in the right direction, which is the right thing to do. And so we had that, but of course it's not nice, especially when you put a lot of time in, which all of us have, and that's why we can all hold our heads high, because we did try our best. To then have that on your mind going into another massive production, another big project.
Yeah. Literally the same day as well, wasn't it?
So
literally we had the not so good news in the morning, and that same day we're then rolling out.
It was the first week back from Christmas, and I think everyone, all things considered, in the way that the world is right now, and especially in the UK, I think everyone was very spiky that week, and we definitely felt that from an agency's point of view, being sort of in the middle. We felt a lot of that spikiness, but you got to respect where people are at. We're here to do a job.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, we're not here for a round of applause. We're here to get the job done, for them to pay us to do something.
Yeah.
But when you put creativity into the mix, you can't get precious about, like, even though if you know something is really good, like when we have feedback from clients for content creation, well, we know that's good, but if they don't like it, they feel that, and they relay that feeling to, we did that Tide 55 did that. So you've got to be able to go, fine, what would you like us to do? And then we'll find the middle ground.
It all relates to all the conversations we've had before, talking about, you know, in business and everything like this. The two most important things and values that go into it is experience, and, you know, that experience matters, as we've said before, more than ever. That's gonna relay a feeling. Yeah. You know, and it's like I said to you, I can't remember what piece of content it was in, but I said to you about a week ago or so, you know, that feeling that you used to have when you were younger, you know, and say if you would buy a product and there was something a little bit different about even just unboxing it. For example, when you get a new iPhone, everyone finds it so satisfying when you pull the little plastic, you know, cover off the screen, and it's that feeling and experience which makes you crave that more. So I think it's, you know, ultimately it's the same with video, you know, and, you know, like in here we're talking about how powerful video is, taking us onto that. What does that mean for a business, for someone who wants to do a promotional video for their brand, for their product, or whatever it may be? Because the different types of videos that we've created recently, there's been a lot of them.
Yeah, there's, I guess, two ways to look at this. There's the videos that represent and reflect human experience like this, because you could watch us, you could be in the room with us now, it would look the same.
Yeah.
There's no editing of flames coming out my head or anything, as far as I know. And then there's videos that are more creative. You're going to probably do that. That are more creative and design based videos, which we did for Mad Yak. Yeah. Now I'm going to stick with the first type, because that's the one that people can do, no excuses. If you've got a phone that has a camera on it,
yeah,
you can make videos now. The end.
Yeah.
So to start, yeah, even if it's just putting on Instagram stories and just being very casual with it.
Yeah.
What's important about video, there's a lot of technical things we could talk about, but I'm going to talk about it from a psychological point of view.
Yes.
When you watch something, and it is a person or people like this, your brain recognises that in the same way as it would if you were there.
Yeah.
So put yourself in the other person's shoes. Making a video means that you can create that experience infinitely to thousands of people at the same time.
Yeah.
Whereas if you had to have thousands of people come and look at you and be here in the room, you couldn't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be impossible and very unresourceful. So what we have is the potential to create an experience, an understanding, to be able to get our point across and help educate, entertain, whatever it is that your objective is, the person watching the video at scale that is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And when you put in things like advertising campaigns around videos, you can quite literally choose. If you wanted to make a video for people who had been newly married, living in the south of France, who enjoy watching Desperate Housewives, you could.
Yeah, it's the ways you can find your target market using the power of video. It's mad.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and still, I think people are struggling to see, because they have this barrier in the way, which is, oh, I don't want to do a video.
Yeah.
You know.
The thing is, I think that barrier, though, again, psychologically, that's all that barrier is. For example, even with some of the clients we have here who send in videos of them talking to the camera.
Yeah.
I've only been here for a month and a half or so, but I've seen as their content progresses, their presenting, let's say, that's also progressing with that content.
Yeah.
Which, from an editing standpoint, you appreciate that massively.
Yeah, there's a lot of people at the moment doing video for the first time and being very open about it. I've seen it on LinkedIn, and that's great. But I think the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah, 100%.
We obviously make it easier for people.
Yeah.
So they send us, some of the videos that you're creating at the moment, where people just literally send some iPhone footage, and it turns into what it turns into, is amazing. And that's like the sweet spot for what we do here in terms of that service.
Yeah. Because
the person doing that yourself, is not going to happen. It might happen once, and that's one thing I'd love to talk about, by the way, when people try and do it themselves.
Yeah.
It might happen once, but it's almost like doing it once is more damaging than not doing it at all.
Completely agree with you. We've seen some people try and do it themselves. In my personal experience over sort of a few years or so, people kind of think they don't underestimate your value, but they look at it as, well, it's a video. They look at it, I can download an app on my phone and do that. I'm like, okay, you do that, but the end result, they are then the same people that will sit there and be like, oh, well, why does it look like this? Why, this, that, the other. So you talk about people trying it themselves and why people shouldn't necessarily try it themselves.
Yeah.
You said in last week's episode, where we sat down and have a conversation, the way business works in life is you pay the professional to do their profession. You're not doing your own dental work, as you said last week. So why should people not do their own video? Why should people not do their own, social media campaigns?
I think they should, right? If they're not.
Yeah.
Problem is, if you think you can do it and you can keep it up, you've got to be deadly serious about that. Yeah. Because it is more damaging to do a little bit and then stop, and have inconsistencies.
Consistency is one of the most important things. And
you know that I love my sporting analogies. If you can't do it on a cold, wet night, Wednesday night against Stoke, if you can't do it, the third week or fourth week after saying, "Oh, I'm going to do this." If it's still not happening, you've caused damage, because people are going to fall off the edge of the cliff when it comes to their relationship with your content. Where's it gone? Why is there this big? It's like having a CV, you know, and going for a job. It's like, why is there this 2-year gap where you didn't have anything going on? It's like, I didn't feel like, you know, doing
I think that also links back to the psychological effect. You know, if you've got some customer or someone who's willing to invest in your company, your brand, your product, whatever it may be, you know, if they don't see consistent content at a high quality, it's almost like you're going to burn the bridge of trust before you even got there.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a mistake you want to prevent happening.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
And it's hard to measure it, but it's definitely a factor. If they're looking at you and they're looking at your competition, your competition's got more stuff because they've been posting every day, so they're getting more chances to bring that individual closer to their till versus yours.
Yeah.
And the second thing is, if they do notice that there's been, because I don't know about you, I check the dates sometimes. When I click on someone's profile, I scroll down a couple of posts and I'll check the date in which they last posted, because you can get a feel for where someone's at. If someone hasn't posted for 2 months, you get a feel for that. That feels to me like you've had stuff going on and you didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
And usually you'd associate that for a bad reason. Doubt clouds the mind. And with someone thinking about buying something, and you could look at this and go, well, this is way too intense, so I'm just trying to sell, like, I don't know, like laptop chargers or whatever. It doesn't matter what you're trying to sell. Yeah. There's other people trying to sell it too. So you're giving them the advantage if you don't have consistent content going out.
Yeah, it's like we've said before, you go fishing.
Yeah.
In one pond, you can go and fish in the sea where there might only be 2 fish, but in reality, turn around, the pond behind you is filled with fish, and your competitor is getting all the bites. He's getting all the custom.
Yes, and that's the risk. Yeah, it sounds like scarcity tactics, but it's not. It's just businesses will grow.
Yeah.
And there's so much to go around. That's the thing. There's so many fish. There's too many fish.
Yeah.
People don't understand that it's not about that. It's not about beating the other. There's so much to go around. We can all win with this internet thing, because there's so much opportunity. But if you're not doing it, you will miss out and you will slow down.
Talking about before, you know, asking people questions before they ask themselves. You know, we talk about there being too many fish. How many times have you been online shopping of some form, whether it be clothes or Amazon or anything like that? I think more so clothes. I think a lot of people can relate to that. They'll buy something they didn't even think about buying. They'll go onto a website of whatever it may be to buy something and walk away with it, and you order, what is that coming from Amazon? So much so that when it arrives at your door, you're like, what is that? It's got my name on it, but I have no idea what this box is. It's turned up on a random Wednesday. And that's where, you know, the fish are. You know, there's so many, as you say, there are so many fish. And a lot of those fish will buy things they didn't even think they wanted. You know, and it's mad. Like, the power that you can have behind yourself through video, and especially on social media as well. You know, the opportunities, as I said before, they're endless.
Yeah. Last thing on the video, it hacks time. You could imagine how long it would take to have those face-to-face meetings with hundreds, thousands of people. You wouldn't have any time to do anything else. Whereas with video, if you get the subject, the content right, so that it helps bring someone further down the line of your sales process and helps them to understand what it is you're doing, or puts a smile on their face, then you're gaining credibility and attention in the marketplace. Yeah. And it's the same as, you know, old school on a market stall. Everyone's yelling, you know, 2 for £1 and everything else. Yeah. If you have a different way of catching the attention, your stall looks better, or your voice is more louder, or you're more personable, or even doing the opposite of everyone else and not shouting but whispering in people as they, hey, are you interested? We've got 2 for 1 here. You know, you will get the attention by doing stuff like that, and that's the old school model. It's the same as now. Talking
of old school as well, you know, sort of to round this off nicely, to sum it up to someone who doesn't know exactly how powerful video is, you know, to advertise, as I said, your business or a product, whatever it may be. 10, 20 years ago, I wasn't here 20 years ago, but you know, 10, 20 years ago or so, you would jump at, you know, the opportunity. Oh, I'm gonna, you know, get some new flyers for my takeaway, my, you know, this, that, the other, and you're gonna pay someone a few quid an hour to go and put flyers through.
Yeah, dude, I was that guy. I was getting paid a few quid an hour to post them.
I done £5 an hour at one point delivering leaflets through doors, and that was a way that you could market and you could find new customers, you know, all the time. Video is now the new flyer. You know, it's the new leaflet through people's letterboxes. You know, it's having that advertisement that appears on their social media is more powerful than putting some, you know, essentially junk mail through their letterbox. You know, the video people spend more time on.
Yeah.
You know?
That's where, and yeah, you're right. And that's where our services make sense, because at the start of the video trend or phenomenon, if you will, it would have been the same as having something come through your door and never had anything come through your door before. You'd be like, what's this? Yeah. What's this piece of paper?
That wow factor, that, you know, that.
But now it's not good enough. That's not good enough. And I know I don't want to like bring people down before they've even started, but what you want to get through the door now is a quality leaflet that brings a smile to someone's face, tells them right things, right time, sends them where they need to go, gives them a special offer. You know, just putting a scrumpled piece of paper through the letterbox was good enough once. Just doing some video now and again was good enough once.
Yeah.
But now, if you really are serious about it, you've got to get the quality combined with the consistency, align it with your sales process, speak it in the voice of your brand, and that is the winning formula. And that's why we have a job, because we help the companies that we work with to do that, which is what we've been doing a lot this week.